Hey everybody, I'm Rap and this is Rap's Garage Shop. And today, working on the 46 knuckle, I'm planning on finishing up a few small odds and ends and possibly getting the gas tanks on. I need to fit the cover over top of the regulator, so stick around and thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. I see a lot of you are watching, you're not subscribed, helps my channel and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I answer every one of them. I'm just trying to help people out. So thanks for watching and here we go. Although I can't put the cover on the regulator, I do want to fit it to make sure it's going to go on without any problem. These electronic regulators have a red and green LED on them. So when it is I go to start this, I want to be able to see whether the LED's lit. So I'm just going to fit the cover and then leave it off. So you can see one side shallow and one side steeper. And the deeper side goes where there's the two terminals on the outside. You can also see where I put tape on this a while ago because it seems like it comes close. I don't want it to short out, so I'm just going to leave the tape on it for now. And then it's supposed to just fit over top of it like this. Seems like it goes down the right amount. Part of this fitting properly is you have two dimples on each side, here and here, and then here and here. And you can see there's two holes, one here and one there. And those dimples have to set down into those holes in order for this thing to kind of like snap in and hold there without rattling off. So it's down pretty good. And once it's on those, it's not going to come off. The tape peeling up is not a look that I like, so I'm going to check to see if I can do without that tape there. And I think I can. Now that I've taken the tape off there, it clears fine. I'm going to leave that go, and now on to the next thing. Next thing I'm going to do is tighten up the wiring, but I want to double check that it's right because I had a lot of it disconnected. The great thing about these manuals is they actually show you the terminals and they tell you where they are. So the positive wire off the battery comes to this 15, and if you look here in the book, it says 15 is a junction terminal. In the right side of the motorcycle frame under the saddle, cable A, red wire from the switch terminal number 1, red wire from the battery positive terminal number 9. So right here is terminal 9 off the battery, comes down to that junction terminal 15. That's the red wire, and you can see the red comes up to number 1. So I'm going to check that out right now. This is that terminal that they're talking about. This is the red wire off the battery, comes to this terminal. It comes to a red with a white stripe here. That part of the harness comes up here, then it comes up here and into the switch housing. That's right here, and this is that red wire with the white stripe, and it does go to terminal number 1 on the switch. So at this point it's loose. I just need to tighten it up. For this, I just want a little bit of Loctite on it, and to control how much I put on, I dabbed it on a screwdriver. Now let's come down here. Put it on the threads where the nut will be. I position the wires to where I think they're aesthetically pleasing for me. This is 5/16 nut. Now I'm just going to tighten it up. Alright, there it is. Nice and tight. Not going anywhere. Now let's go to the terminal on the other side. That's this terminal here. And you can see I have a wire hanging that I believe goes on it, but I just want to double check everything. So the right side's power up to the switch. I believe this is power coming back to the switch, and it goes to the positive side of the coil and it goes to the brake light. Again, in the book, here's another terminal. It says 16. It says that there are black wires going to it on both sides. If I read here, number 16 says junction terminal in left side of motorcycle frame under saddle, cable A, black wire from switch terminal number 4. Black wire from tail light and stop lamp number 14. So if you look at the tail light here, it has that black wire coming in. It also has a wire coming from number 12. Number 12 is the stop lamp switch. So the stop lamp switch is going to get a switched wire off the coil. It's going to come down to the stop lamp switch, and then when you put the brakes on, it's going to light the light. This wire is going to be the running light, and you want that on all the time if the engine's running. So that's going to be a hot wire off the switch. That black wire comes up here and goes to number 4 on the switch like it said. So let's check that out. So the one wire that goes on it is a black wire with a white stripe, and that goes into this upper harness here, which is the same harness that comes up here. And out of that harness, the black wire with the white stripe goes to terminal number 4. So that one's right. The other side is another black wire that comes down here. You can see where it goes in the fender there. So those two are the ones that go on this screw. Again, I'm going to put them both on. I'll position the wires to my liking, put a little Loctite on the thread, and then tighten down the 5/16 nut. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the 6-volt bulbs. And I bought 12-volt LED bulbs. I'm going to put those in. I always like to give a little check of the wires, make sure everything's tight up here, and it is. None of that was removed, so I didn't expect any of it to be loose. But let's start with these bulbs. They take a half turn out. These are the 12-volt LED ones I bought. The information for those LED bulbs I got are ledlight.com. The part number is 64848WW. They're number 63 LED bulbs, 12 to 14 volts. The base is a BA15S, and the color is warm white. So you just go to their website and you can order up those bulbs if you're interested. If they end up being too bright or they bleed over too much, I'll take them out and just get regular incandescent bulbs or different LED bulbs. That's what the 3 of them look like in the dash. We'll give the switch turn on and see what things look like. Okay, I can see this one lit up. Not very bright, but it is lit up. Oh, there it is. It's not really making great connection. All right, I'm going to have to look into why that is. Looks like it's just got a bad ground connection. That's the oil pressure light. You can see that lights up very bright. And I don't mind that one being super bright, because if I lose oil pressure while I'm driving, I want that on. This one's for the speedo. It's supposed to light the speedometer up. And I don't see that one coming on at all. I'll have to figure that out. Now it seems like this one's not on bright enough. I'm wondering if this switch isn't having some problems. Alright, take a look and figure it out. The first thing to always check when you're having issues with lights, or issues in general, is your battery. With everything turned off, it has 8.2 volts, so you can see that's the issue. And then when I turn it to on with the headlight on, you see it drops down to 4.3, so that's why those LEDs were real dim. And I got to put some charge on this battery. So with that being said, you always want to check your battery voltage first. So after a little cleaning up of the terminals, that one, here's the oil pressure. Last one I need to look at is the light for the speedometer. So they're all good now. And you can turn it off with the switch right here. Now I'll move on to the headlight. First, for the headlight, I need to take this headlight ring retaining screw out. Okay, now I'll remove the 6-volt bulb. Now I did buy this LED bulb. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I'm all about the interest of bright light and saving on the power of that small 12-volt battery. The one thing I suggest that you do is check the orientation. And when I say the orientation, these open holes slide in over top these rivets. When I set them both straight up, the orientation's real close, so that means that one's for the high and one's for the low beam will line up with the connector in the back of the light. So I'll put these on first. Also, this has a bulb on the front and then bulbs on the side. I'm guessing the bulbs on the side are the regular driving lights, and then this bulb on the front is the high beam, and when you put that on, they probably all stay on. So I'll just set that in here like this and just give it a turn. All right, there it is in. Let's see if it lights. Nope. Now, let's figure out why that is. All right, need to check to see if I'm getting power up there. Power comes in right under here. I have the one side of the meter grounded. You can see I do have power up there. So I'm not really sure why it's not on. Maybe I damaged the bulb when I spun it. Thankfully they came 2 in a pack, so we'll try this again. Want to make sure you got a good ground. And I do have a good ground at the light. So maybe I damaged that bulb while I was putting it in. Oh, they're not oriented right. If you look, these are offset. You have two up high and then this one's far away. And that's the way the light is. So when you put it in and it ends up like this, these are not lined up with the terminals, and that's why it's not lighting. So I'm going to see what I can do about that. So the way I figured out to do that is I have this ring a little bit loose on the light. I'm going to spin it to where I need it and then put a little dab of solder on it to make a good ground connection. So I just kind of work it around like that until I get it to the location I need it. I was able to get it to twist some. You can see it like that, and I think that's going to get it to where I need it. And then once I'm positive that it works, I'll put a little dab of solder right there, make sure the ground's still good. So let's try it now. Alright, now that I have it spun, there's both beams on. I call that the low beam, and that's the high beam. So that's going to work just fine. I didn't end up dabbing any solder. Not sure that I need it. Oh, I do. So I'll put a little solder on that, see how we go. As you can see, I put a dab of solder there. That's on the top. And then I put an even better dab of solder right there. So now to have that done, you can wiggle the light around. It's not coming in and out. It's on there firm. That's what winning looks like. Now just clean the headlight a little bit and move on to the next thing. As you can see, it's good and bright, but it definitely looks like an LED bulb. I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about people seeing me, especially on this bike, since it's not a modern bike. It doesn't go as fast as a modern bike, and I don't plan on riding it much at night, but I do want to be seen during the day or even at night if I am riding. So the one light that's on over here is the generator light, but you can also see that when I turn on the dash light, it's lit up even if I block that generator light out. So that's going to work out really nice. Looking in my box of parts, I found this. Since the carburetor is already on there and this isn't, means I need to pull it back apart and install the gasket. Not sure if you could see, but I do have the one in there. You can see it right there. I just don't have the back one. I'm going to remove the carburetor and reinstall the gasket. I'm going to do that off camera since I already have a video showing how to install the carburetor, and I'll connect that to a link to this video. I took that apart and put 2 new gaskets around the carb spacer, so that's good to go. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Stick around for my next video as I get some more done and get this thing ready to run.